3, 1, minus 2, minus 3, then 1, minus 2, just the coefficients. Written it in their order, its transpose. That means the matrix will be 3, minus 2, 1, 1, minus 3, minus 2. This one. Okay. This is the required matrix of the linear mapping T. Now moving to the next example. This is exactly the same one, exactly for this mapping. Example number 2. It is saying find the matrix of T. Find the matrix of T related to the bases. Here the basis has been changed. So related to the bases 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0 of R cube and 1, 0, 0, 1 of R square. Find matrix of T related to the bases, this of R cube and this of R square. So let's find it. We have to take the basis elements one by one, find their images and express them as a linear combination of the basis elements of the codomain set. Then consider the coefficient. Its transpose will be our required matrix. That's it. So the first element is 0, 1, 1. So at first T of 0, 1, 1. What will be its image under this rule? It will be minus 1, minus 5. The next basis element is 1, 0, 1. What will be its image under this given rule? It will be 4, minus 1. Similarly, T of 1, 1, 0. It will be 1, minus 2. Now how it can be represented linearly? By the combination of the basis elements of the codomain set, that is 1, 0, 0, 1. It can be written as minus 1 into 1, 0 plus minus 5 into 0, 1, then 4 into 1, 0 plus minus 1 into 0, 1, 1 into 1, 0 plus minus 2 into 0, 1. Okay. That means this and this are the coefficients. So our matrix will be just putting them in that particular order. Its transpose. That is minus 1, 4, 1, minus 5, minus 1, minus 2. So this is how we find out matrix for a corresponding linear mapping. And this is very much useful because all the properties which will be satisfied by the linear mapping, like invertible or singular, non-singular, these all the properties will also be satisfied by its matrix. And rather than a mapping, matrix is quite familiar with. We are always quite familiar with the matrices rather than the linear mappings or the mapping functions. So whenever we have to prove that a particular linear mapping is invertible or singular or non-singular, if we can't do that from the mapping rule, then we can convert that linear mapping into our, the required matrix, that is empty. Then we can check the property over empty. It will be quite easier to solve. So moving to the next example. Let alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3, beta 1, beta 2 be ordered bases of the real vector space V and W respectively. Let this one and this one are the two ordered bases of the real vector space V and W respectively. And a linear mapping T from V to W maps the basis vectors as T of alpha 1 equals beta 1 plus beta 2. T of alpha 2 equals 3 beta 1 minus beta 2. And T of alpha 3 equals beta 1 plus 3 beta 2. Okay. The basis elements and their images are given here. Now find the matrix of T. Find the matrix of T with respect to number 1, alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3 of V and beta 2 comma beta 1 of W. Change, this is an ordered basis, right? So beta 1 beta 2 and beta 2 beta 1 are different here. We need to mind it. Number 2 is alpha 1 plus alpha 2 comma alpha 2 alpha 3 of V and beta 1 comma beta 1 plus beta 2 of W. These two. Okay, that means we need to find out the matrix at first with respect to this basis and then with respect to this basis. So moving to the first example, number 1, we need to find out the matrix of T of with respect to this basis for the code for the domain set and this basis for the codomain set. Now check the matrix. The rule for the linear mapping is not actually given here. They only give us this one, this two, right? Alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3. Now to find out the matrix with respect to this basis, what we need? We need T of alpha 1, T of alpha 2, T of alpha 3, which is given in the question. Okay, so I'm writing this T of alpha 1, which is beta 1 plus beta 2. Next T of alpha 2, which is 3 beta 1 minus beta 2. And then T of alpha 3, which is equals beta 1 plus 3 beta 2. Now we need to express them as the linear combination with respect to our this basis, which is given in the question, beta 2 comma beta 1. So how we can do that? We can write this one as 1 into beta 2 plus 1 into beta 1, right? We need to take first beta 2 then beta 1 because these are all ordered bases. We cannot change their order. Next, we can write it as minus 1 into beta 2 plus 3 into beta 1. And the next one is 3 into beta 2 plus 1 into beta 1. Okay. So these are the coefficients. So what will be our matrix? Empty will be 1 1 minus 1 3 3 1 its whole transpose. That means 1 minus 1 3 and 1 3 1. Okay, this is matrix of T required and with respect to these two bases. Now we need to find out the next one, that is next question. Here the bases are different. First one is alpha 1 plus alpha 2, then alpha 2 and alpha 3 for the domain set, and there is another one for the codomain set. So let's find out for that. So now the new basis, check the question number 2. What is the new basis for the domain set? It is alpha 1 plus alpha 2 and alpha 3, right? So we need the images of this basis element. So we need at first T of alpha 1 plus alpha 2, then we need T of alpha 2, we need T of alpha 3. But in the question, T of alpha 1 plus alpha 2 is never given, right? But we know that T of alpha 1 plus alpha 2 is T of alpha 1 plus T of alpha 2, right? Because T is a linear mapping. Now put these two values, we know them. What will be the values? Beta 1 plus beta 2, it will be beta 1 plus beta 2, then plus 3 beta 1 minus beta 2. That means actually it becomes 4 beta 1. Okay. Now how we can represent them according to, okay, let's find out the images first. So this becomes 4 beta 1. Similarly, what will be the image for T of alpha 2? It is given already in the question, that is 3 beta 1 minus beta 2. And T of alpha 3, it is also given beta 1 plus 3 beta 2. So we get all the images of the basis elements of our domain set. Now we need to represent the elements as the linear combination of the basis element of our codomain set. And what is the basis of our codomain set given in question number 2? It is beta 1 comma beta 1 plus beta 2. That means we need to express this and these three individually as the linear combinations of beta 1 comma beta 1 plus beta 2. We need to do that. So let's start with the first element, t of alpha 1 plus alpha 2, which is equals 4 beta 1, and we want to express it as the combination of beta 1 comma beta 1 plus beta 2. What we can write it? We can write it as 4 into beta 1 plus 0 into beta 1 plus beta 2. Okay. Next, t of alpha 2, which is equals 3 beta 1 minus beta 2. So we can write it as 4 into beta 1, then we have written 1 beta 1 extra. So we can write 1 into beta 1, minus 1, then it will become 3 minus or plus. So if we can write it as 4 beta 1 minus 1 into beta 1 plus beta 2, then if you open the bracket, it will become 3 beta 1 minus beta 2. These are same, and this is also the linear combination of beta 1 and beta 1 plus beta 2, which is the basis elements of our codomain set, right? Next is t of alpha 3, which is equals beta 1 plus 3 beta 2. What we can write? We can write it as minus 2 beta 1 plus 3 into beta 1 plus beta 2, right? So if you write this, then after opening bracket, what it will become? Minus 2 beta 1 plus 3 beta 1, that means ultimately beta 1, and then open the bracket, it will become 3 beta 2. So this will be adjusted, and these are the linear combinations of this vector and this vector. Now if you find it difficult to express them like this, that is, how will we understand that after this line we need to write minus 2 beta 1, not plus 2 beta 1, or not minus 5 beta 1, not plus 6 beta 1? How will we understand this? Then I will suggest you just to take C1, C2 and then compute it. So if I'm just showing this operation, how to do that by taking C1, C2. Whenever you don't understand what to write in that coefficient part, then you can write it like this: beta 1 plus 3 beta 2. Okay, we want to express it as a linear combination of this and this vector, so we are taking it as C1 beta 1 plus C2 beta 1 plus beta 2. Now equate both sides. What will we get? For the coefficients of beta 1, we will get 1 from the left hand side, and from the right hand side C1 plus C2, and for the coefficient of beta 2, we will get 3 from the left hand side, and from the right hand side we will get only C2. Okay, so C2 becomes 3, and from here by putting the value of C2, we will get C1 becomes minus 2. Okay, so beta 1 minus 3 beta 2 can be represented as minus 2 into first vector beta 1 plus 3 into second vector beta 1 plus beta 2. If you can't compute it just by showing it, just by checking this, if you can compute this, then you can take it by C1, C2 in the rough, then you can get the value of C1, C2 and put it there. Okay, so for the 3 basis vectors of the domain set, we get this one. Now identify the coefficients. These are this, 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 this and this. So our matrix MT will be, just putting them as usual, 4 0 4 minus 1 minus 2 3, its transpose. So it will become 4 4 minus 2 0 minus 1 3. This is our required matrix. Okay, so in these 2 examples we check that if the linear mapping is given, if the rule or some images of the linear mapping is given, then we can find out the matrix. Now we need to know, that is, if the matrix is given, are we able to find out the linear mapping? The answer is yes, and the answer gives by the third example. So write down here, we have given one matrix, then we need to find out its corresponding rule of the linear mapping. So write down the matrix of a linear mapping T, the matrix of a linear mapping T from R cube to R square related to the ordered basis, 0 1 1 comma 1 0 1 comma 1 1 0 of R cube and 1 0 comma 1 1 of R square is this 1 2 4 2 1 0, this matrix. Then find T. Okay, here the basis for the domain set and the basis for the codomain set is given, and with respect to these two bases the matrix becomes this. Then we have to find out the rule for the mapping T. So according to the procedure of finding matrix, what we can write? We can write that this one, its image, that is T of 0 1 1, it will be from the matrix. What we can write? It will be its image will be the linear combination of this one, the elements where the coefficients are this and this from the first column of the matrix. So we can write 1 into the first basis element 1 0 plus 2 into the second basis element 1 1. This again T of the second element 1 0 1 will be 2 into the first basis element, then 1 into the second basis element, and T of 1 1 0, this will be 4 into the first element plus 0 into the second element. This one. Now compute their images. This will become 1 plus 2, which is equals 3 comma 2, then 3 comma 1, and this is 4 comma 0, right? Now we know the images of the basis elements, this and this. Okay, that means from here, from the images of the basis elements, we need to find out the rule for the mapping. We know how to do it because we have already solved this in the first example of today's class. That is, whenever the images of the basis elements are given, how to find the rule for the mapping. So what will we do? We will take one element from the domain set. Let xyz belongs to the domain set, which is R cube. Then it should be represented as the linear combination of these three basis vectors. So let xyz equals c1 into the first one plus c2 into the second one plus c3 into the third one. Now we need to get the value of c1, c2, c3. For that reason we are equating both sides. So what will we get? X equals c2 plus c3, then y equals c1 plus c3, and z equals c1 plus c2. This. Now solve these equations for c1, c2 and c3. After solving, what will we get? We will get c1 equals half of y plus z minus x, c2 equals half of z plus x minus y, and c3 equals half of x plus y minus z. You know how to solve these three equations. I am not explaining it. Okay. So these are the constant parts c1, c2, c3. So from here, by putting that constant part, what we can write? xyz equals half of this into the first vector, which is 0 1 1, plus c2 into the second vector, which was, what was our second vector? 1 0 1, right? And c3 is this one. We can write this. So from there from this relation, what we can do, we will apply t on both sides. That is our linear mapping. So in the next line we are writing t of xyz equals, now check if we apply t on the right hand side part. Now this quantity is a constant, right? So we can remove this over t, that is this one into t of this vector, again this one constant plus t into this vector, and this one into t into this vector. So on the right hand side we are writing it as half of y plus z minus x into t of this 0 1 1, the first vector was t of 0 1 1 plus half of z plus x minus y into t of 1 0 1 plus half of C3, which is x plus y minus z into t of 1 1 0. Now we know these three images, put it. So t of xyz will becomes half of this quantity, I am not writing it again, into the first image is 3 2 plus half of this one, then 3 1 plus half of this image into 4 0. This. Now open all these brackets and multiply it, you will get the required result using xyz obviously, because these are the xyz terms. So this is how we get the rule for t. If the mapping if the matrix is given there, this is how we get the rule for the linear mapping. Next, moving to the next example, not actually example, okay, let's solve one example first using this matrix. This is also from exercise 18 from Schemappa. Write down, D and T are linear mappings. D and T are linear mappings on the real vector space, P4 defined by dpx equals ddx of px and tpx equals x into ddx of px. Okay, for all px belongs to P4. Then determine the matrix, of each operators D and T with respect to the basis 1x x square x cube of P4. Okay, the question is a huge one, but the answer will be very short. What it is given, it is talking about the vector space P4. Now what is P4? P4 means the vector space of all real polynomials of degree less or equal to 4. That means the maximum, the elements are the polynomials of degree 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Maximum can be 4. This is denoted by P4. And here they are defining two linear operators D and T over P4. D is defined as this. D of any polynomial of P4 equals to ddx of that polynomial. That means basically D is the differential operator. And T is defined by x into that differential operator. Okay. Now there are two operators are given. We need to find out two matrix, each one for D and T, and the bases are given like this: 1x, x square, x cube. So from there we can say one thing, that is the domain and codomain are same because only one basis are given here. That is D is actually from P4 to P4 and T is also the same thing, P4 to P4. And the bases are this. This is the basis for domain set, this is the basis for codomain set. So I will do it for D and the matrix for T will be your homework. Okay. So to find D, M of D, that means the matrix of D, what we need? We need one basis element for the domain set which is given here, this one, and its images. So we need to find the images of this each of the element 1x, x square and x cube under the linear mapping D. So let's take the elements one by one and find their images. At first 1. So what will be D of 1? Under the given rule, that means d dx of 1, which is 0. Then D of x, that is d dx of x, which is 1 derivative. D of x square, it will be 2x, and D of x cube, it will be 3x square. Now we need to express these elements, each of the elements, as the linear combination of the basis element of the codomain set. That is, here codomain is also P4, that is the basis for the codomain is also that 1x, x square, x cube. So we need to express each of the elements as the linear combination of 1x, x square and x cube. So for 0 we can easily write it as 0 into 1 plus 0 into x plus 0 into x square plus 0 into x cube. Then for 1 what we can write? 1 into 1 plus 0 into x plus 0 into x square plus 0 into x cube. Then for 2x, what we can write? 0 into 1 plus 2 into x plus 0 into x square plus 0 into x cube. And for 3x square, we are writing 0 into 1 plus 0 into x plus 3 into x square plus 0 into x cube. Now identify the coefficients. These are the coefficients here. So the matrix will be its transpose. That means this one. This is the required matrix for D. Similarly, for the second problem, you need to find out the matrix for T by exactly same procedure. You know how to do that. Okay. Now moving to few results. Without the proof, we need to discuss few results. That is the few properties or few relations between the matrix of the operator and the inverse of the operator. First of all, number one property is rank of T, obviously linear mapping, equal to the rank of the matrix MT. What is rank of T? Rank of T means the dimension of its image space, right? Dimension of T means, rank of T means dimension of its image space. And what is the rank of MT? MT is our required matrix. We know how to find out the rank of a matrix by applying the minor procedure or by applying the row reduced echelon form procedure. Whatever procedure you can want to apply, you can then get the rank of the matrix, then these two will be same. That is, the rank of a operator T is equal to the rank of the corresponding matrix. Now suppose in the exam question comes like find the rank of a particular linear mapping, okay, and generally the finding rank is not so easy, because for that reason we have to find out the image T, and this is also not so easy. So instead of finding that, you can convert that linear mapping into a matrix, then find its rank, and you will get the result, whatever you want, whatever procedure you want. So this is number 1 property. Number 2 property is the matrix of ST, that is composition of two linear mapping, is equals to the matrix of S into matrix of T. That means if S and T are given to you, you can easily find out the matrix of ST, the new operator ST, because just you need to multiply these two matrices by applying matrix multiplication rule, then you will get the result. And number 3 property is matrix of T inverse equals to matrix of T its whole inverse. That means T inverse is also another operator. So you will get one matrix for this. This will be the inverse of the matrix of T. So whenever we are considering the inverse for the linear mappings, the same rule is applicable also for their corresponding matrices. Okay. Here one example is solved in SK-MAPA. You can check it from there. It's very easy. Just get the matrix of T, then you will have to find out the matrix of T inverse. Yes, matrix of T inverse. Just find the inverse of the given matrix, you will get the result. And the last thing we have, which is called linear space. Linear space is, suppose we have V and W be two vector spaces over a field F. V and W be two vector spaces over a field F. Then the set of all linear mappings from V to W, this will form a vector space. This will form a vector space. And this space is known as linear space. This space is known as linear space, and it is denoted by L of V comma W. Okay, so L of V comma W means the linear space of V and W. That means it is the set of all linear mappings from V to W. So what will be the elements of that LVW? It will be all linear mappings like T1, T2, T3,